What's going on, everyone? So yesterday was the Lakers media day, and LeBron James gave us a lot of insight in numerous ways, right? Talked about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the guy, right? Which is fine and all, and I fully believe he needs to be the guy, but LeBron's also got to make the efforts, and as well as AD, right? It needs to be all parties involved. Darvin Ham needs to actually make sure Anthony Davis is treated and the offense runs through him on most plays. I'm not saying every possession AD's got to touch the ball, but also LeBron James, he needs to establish Anthony Davis and allow him to go eat and cook. Very rarely is there an offensive possession where LeBron James doesn't touch the ball or doesn't have the ball a good majority of the possession, right? So a lot of it is going to be him needing to get everyone to not only get AD to eat in like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, guys like that, but he needs to really kind of establish AD as well. You know, he talked about this upcoming season and credited Rob Pelinka for really kind of putting a great roster and a great team together. He talked about how, that was one of the big factors in him returning because, right, a lot of the media day conversation was about LeBron James and what made him return rather than retiring. And LeBron said, at that time I was going through all kinds of emotions. I was, that's how I felt at the time of like, I don't know what's going to happen. The foot injury, all of that. Okay, I can understand that, no problem. He said, I feel like I have more to the game of basketball. He said I got away from the game of basketball. I got to see my kids. Seeing my kids kind of lit that fire, right? He mentioned Bryce, right? And how he really kind of just doing the AAU thing with him and, him and Rondo coaching and team, like it made him and gave him that fire. And then he saw what Rob Pelinka did with the roster and was like, all right, like we ready, let's go, right? And I mean, I completely understand that. This Lakers roster is ridiculous, right? And has all the tools to go win an NBA championship. And this roster, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is built beautifully for a LeBron James team at this stage of LeBron's career. One, this might be, if not is, the deepest roster LeBron's ever had. Personally, I think it is. I mean, LeBron's had some very talented rosters, don't get me wrong, but as far as like 1 through 14, this is the deepest roster. A lot of those rosters were very top heavy because, he had big threes and stuff like that. But LeBron, with this roster, he's going to be able to take nights off. He's going to be able to take possessions off. He's going to be able to kind of rest throughout the course of the games. He even talked about that, how he can kind of, with this roster, he can kind of pick and choose. He's going to do whatever the coaching wants to do. But he said, also the reason I've gotten this far is knowing my body, knowing where I'm at, and being able to make those adjustments. So he's like, it's going to be that balance of me, hey, it's time to take me out the game, or let's go get these other guys going. That type of thing, which, again, with this roster, he's going to have no problems doing that. You could easily let Austin Reeves go be the guy. Let D'Lo go be the guy. Let AD go be the guy. Let Christian Wood go be the guy, right? You have so many options in that department that LeBron James is not going to have to worry about overexerting himself and really pushing game in and game out like we saw last season. Is there going to be a game here and there where we might need him to kind of turn back the clock a little bit? Sure, of course, right? It's over the course of 82-game season. You're going to have those games where we're going to probably need LeBron getting it going down the stretch. But the other thing that he talked about was the injury, right? So, again, LeBron James, this season, we need him healthy. And there is a concern of, is he going to be the same LeBron? Which, talent-wise, I don't expect some like ridiculous drop-off. I do think his numbers, at least scoring-wise, kind of take a step back this year. Not because he can't go get 30, but because he doesn't need to, right? But the big concern is, how's the foot? So LeBron didn't confirm that he had surgery or not. We still have no idea if he had surgery, but supposedly the foot's good. He talked about that was a big goal and focus this offseason, was getting back to the pre-Dallas, where that's where he injured the foot, getting back to the pre-Dallas LeBron to where his foot was good and ready, and he's not dealing with those ailments anymore. Which that's beautiful. We need that. Whether he had surgery or not, who cares? None of our business. Why should anybody care anyway? Right? As the only thing we should care about is he good? Is he okay? Is he ready to lead this Lakers team? If he is, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. So you have a hungry, motivated LeBron James. He talked about that. He dedicated this season to his son, Bronny. And I'm sure many of you are familiar and aware of what happened with Bronny. He had that collapse at USC. He touched and talked about it. The beginning of the little press conference for him was primarily about that. I personally, I'm not one of those guys that'd be asking questions about a man's son that almost died, but that's neither here nor there. They spent like 10 minutes talking about that. Regardless, LeBron James, I get it. He's in the spotlight. It's part of the thing. I get it. But he relayed like, hey, this is what happened. Oh, he's good now. I'm dedicating this season to his son. So, perfect. So now you have what should be healthy LeBron James, who is motivated, who feels like he has a roster that he can win with. Talk about, being right there in the conference finals. I'm expecting a just brilliant LeBron James season. And look, by brilliant, I don't necessarily mean that he's going to go get 38 and 8 like last year. I do think his assist total probably goes up because he has so much talent now on this roster. It's going to make things very easy. But I could see his scoring go down. His minutes should be around 30 minutes per game. I know some people think that that's not going to happen. But I mean, outside of the 1 year where Russ first came to the Lakers, he's averaged about 32, 33 minutes a game each season he's been with the Lakers. So him resting an extra 2 to 3 minutes is something that I can absolutely see happening. And LeBron talked about the continuity of this roster, which is a big thing, right? The continuity. Like you finally have a core that is returning. You finally have a big chunk of this group that is carrying over from last year. And he talked about, how much roster turnaround there was and, how it's hard to kind of gain that continuity, how to gain that chemistry. And you see teams like Denver and so on that they just that was a big point of emphasis that AD, LeBron, guys like that talked about on Media Day was we could feel Denver's continuity. Like they knew where each other were before they were going to be there, right? And we had to be that team that had to figure that out on the fly, which they did. I mean, they didn't even play 8. They played 8 games together or whatever, that fully healthy before the season began, right? Because you got to remember, even after the trade, D'Angelo Russell missed some minutes with injury. LeBron missed games with injury. Anthony Davis, so it wasn't like we made the trade and everyone immediately just started playing. No, guys were still out, guys were still hurt, guys were still having issues. It was a challenge, right? And you had to and every game was a game 7 essentially. It was tough. And the Lakers were still able to get to the Western Conference Finals. And now they brought everybody back. They added and filled in around the edges, which was beautiful. Anthony Davis is hungry and motivated. LeBron James is hungry and motivated. They've heard the talks, they've heard the conversations, they've heard all the noise. This year just feels different. I'm telling you, just watching the media day and hearing all the talks of, and seeing everybody, there's a clear consensus, which is hey, it's championship time. Let's go. There's a hungry, motivated LeBron, a hungry, motivated AD, a roster that is now going to have some cohesiveness here, building relationships, building friendships. You saw that in Media Day, right? That was one of the things that I talked about. You saw the friendships and relationships already being built and established. You saw Rui and LeBron's connection. Obviously everybody's smiling. It's Media Day. But like the Lakers compared to like some of the other ones, not all of them, but some of them, a lot of them just looked very professional in the sense of like, everybody just was there to do the job and go home type thing. Where the Lakers, it was like summer camp. And it's like, yeah, we got to go over here and take these pictures. But like in the meantime, open chest, or whatever, right? Like it was fun to see. Like it wasn't so like, stoic of like, oh, okay, I'm just here so I don't get fined type thing. No, it was like, we're here, we're enjoying ourselves, it's a great time, it's a celebration, we got another season. Like, it just, you saw them joking and laughing and cameras behind the scenes capturing all of just like the just enjoyment, really. It was great to see, really great to see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think of LeBron this season? What do you think of the injury? Again, like I said, whether he got surgery or not is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that he's good and healthy, right? That's what we need. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see it. But how do you feel? Let me know down in the comments.